feel like we currently live in an era where it's really important to be as specific and clear with our language as we possibly can be. So I am not going to mince words here. I am not going to play with kid gloves. If you are a conservative person, as I see it, there are two justifications for your worldview. Number one, you are a dangerously stupid person, just a completely ignorant dumbass whose ignorant dumbassery is a liability to everyone around you. And number two, you're not actually so dumb. You know exactly how harmful your worldview is. You know that you advocate regularly for bad, harmful, wrong things, and you knowingly justify those harmful, wrong things with bad faith, disingenuous arguments. Let me show you what I'm talking about.
One of the sticking points is this business about paying able-bodied 30-year-old men without dependents welfare with no work requirement.
It doesn't make sense to me. Number one is if you don't want to work, you're the one that decided you don't want health care.
Right.
I love how the interviewer in that clip just says right, as though it's just self-evident and obvious that what Republican Senator Rick Scott from Florida just said in that clip is true. Well, if you don't want to work, then you made the choice to not have health care. And he's just like, right, yeah, right, obviously. Yeah, obviously, Rick, right? Because most people who are unemployed because they just made the choice that they don't want to work. That's how that works, right, Rick? They just said, I don't want healthcare. I don't want to be able to comfortably afford my bills. It's not that they got laid off. It's not that their job was given to AI. It's not that they had a really high level position and now all the jobs they interview for tell them that they're overqualified. It's not that they have a disability that makes it hard for them to find gainful employment. It's not that they were previously incarcerated and that makes it hard for them to find gainful employment. It's just that they don't wanna. They just don't wanna. There are only two possibilities as to why an elected official would go on national television and say something that stupid. Either he is just actually that stupid. He is just that ignorant. He's just an incredibly unthoughtful person. He's just a dangerously inept dipshit. Or Republican Senator Rick Scott knows exactly how evil and harmful it is to deprive millions of people of health care, and he's going on national television making bad faith, disingenuous arguments to justify his evil, harmful behavior. Those are the only two options. There is no third option. He's either dumb or evil. And if you're the kind of person who would vote for a Rick Scott, a person who would go on national television and make an argument like that to justify taking healthcare away from millions of people, you are either dangerously stupid or evil. And I don't know, I guess maybe the third option is like both. And I guess there are a lot of conservatives who are both. So yeah, three options: dumb, evil, or both. All right, have a nice rest of your day, I guess. I get this comment all the time. I've been getting it for years. Now do the other side. Do the other side now. Now show how crazy and delusional the other side is. No one's gonna take you seriously if you don't equally criticize both sides. What you mean when you write this is you won't take me seriously. There are plenty of people in the world who take me seriously and agree with the things I say. I know this because I've met them. I know that they're not just numbers on a screen because I've met them in real life. For the last 5 years of my life, no matter where I am in the world, strangers approach me on the street and thank me for the things that I do. Right now I'm in Utah, a deeply conservative state. It's happened every single day I've been here, multiple times a day. It happened when I was in Omaha, Nebraska. It happened when I was in Toronto, Canada. It happened when I was in Thompson, Georgia. It happened when I was in New York City. It happens when I'm in Los Angeles. It happened when I was in Ireland. It happens everywhere I go in the world. What you're saying is you will only be open to my message if I agree to placate you and start pretending like the left is just as delusional and wrong and harmful as the right can be sometimes. The reason why you have this expectation of me is because the people who you take seriously have conditioned you to be coddled. They've conditioned you to receive information only in a way that does not challenge you and does not make you feel uncomfortable. Don't get me wrong, I'm not claiming, nor have I ever claimed, that the left is flawless or perfect. The left has many flaws and is far from perfect. What I am claiming is that the flaws that exist on the left pale in comparison to the flaws that exist on the right. There simply is no good faith equivalence that can be made between the two. There is no left-wing equivalent of QAnon. There is no organized, coordinated movement of conspiracy theorists on the left who believe all manner of insane conspiracy theories. People who think that there is a global conspiracy amongst the global majority of medical professionals to lie to us about what's in our medicine and what's in vaccines and how vaccines work. There's not people on the left who believe that climate change is a hoax, but the government has machines that can create hurricanes. There is no one single person on the left who watches a video of Elon Musk doing a completely unambiguous sig heil and goes, maybe he's just throwing his heart out to the crowd. I don't know. Maybe that's what he's doing. Everyone on the left understands exactly what he's doing in that video, and so do you. The difference between us is we just don't lie about it. We don't lie to ourselves about it, and we don't lie to other people about it either. And I know what you're thinking right now. You're thinking, no, the left is just as delusional as the right. You guys think that women can be men and men can be women. What you're talking about there is the reality of gender diversity. We observe a world where gender diverse people exist, people who are expressing their personal gender identity in ways that roundly reject the concept of a fixed, rigid gender binary or gender hierarchy. We observe these people and we go, well, I guess that means there's more than two kinds of people. You observe these people and you go, I think they're lying. I think that's not real. I think that there are just two kinds of people. There's just two different ways that people can be, and everyone else is just making stuff up. You are the delusional one in that situation. Christopher, if you are still watching, I need you to understand something. There are actual real-life Nazis in the White House right now doing actual Nazi things in real time. They are actively attacking and dissolving the freedom of the press. They are trying to get rid of habeas corpus so that they can arrest anyone they want for any reason they want and have them shipped off to foreign death camps without due process, with no opportunity to advocate for themselves or to stop that from happening. And if you're telling me that in order to get you to take that threat seriously, I have to pretend that drag queens reading stories to kids is just as scary, is just as much of a threat, you are shit out of luck, because I am not going to do that. If me telling you the truth about the world that you live in makes you uncomfortable, that is your problem to fix, not mine. I wish you the best of luck, truly, for all our sakes. So this person is saying that my explanation of trans identities on my last video is absurd because what I said was, I observe gender diversity, so I guess there must be more than two kinds of people in the world. My bad, that is actually a gross oversimplification of the process. What I'm actually talking about there are the scientific principles of observation and data collection. It works like this. Step 1, observation. I observe trans people. I observe millions of human beings reporting an experience with their personal gender that falls firmly outside of the concept of a fixed, rigid gender binary. Step 2, hypothesis. I make a hypothesis based on that observation. I can either hypothesize that those people are telling the truth and that their experiences are legitimate, or I can hypothesize that they are largely delusional and that objective reality does not support the experience they are reporting that they are having. Step 3, data collection and testing. I need to collect data to test my hypothesis. Now, people who hypothesize that trans people are delusional and are lying will usually start somewhere like chromosomal orientation, and they'll go, boom, XXXY, 2, that's all there are, that's scientific reality. The problem is, that's not what the data actually says. The data shows that there are way more than 2 chromosomal orientations, so There goes that one. Then they'll move on to something like anatomical orientations. People are born with an innie or an outie, one of two. There it is. The problem is, once again, the motherfucking data doesn't actually support that. The data shows that there are way more than two anatomical orientations. They'll move on to hormonal orientations. They'll say testosterone and estrogen, one of two. The problem is both men and women have both testosterone and estrogen. And also, if these hormones were meant to support a hypothesis about a fixed rigid binary, they would have to come in two fixed values, meaning every human man would have to have the exact same amount of those hormones, and every single human woman would have to have the exact same amount of those hormones. They could not exist along a sliding scale or be spectral in any way. They would have to be two fixed values. The reason why I call you delusional is because I make an observation. I observe you having this hypothesis about trans people and seeing that every objective metric disagrees with your hypothesis. Then I observe you digging your heels in and clinging to your hypothesis even though all the data doesn't support it. And I hypothesize that you're doing that because you're an ignorant, bigoted, scientifically illiterate backwater fuck. And the data that I use to test that hypothesis so far just simply hasn't disagreed with my hypothesis. So here we are.
I just wanna know why people like me got a beef with the broke guy, the redneck, red hat wearing white type, the self-identified patriotic till I die kind. Well, where to start?